update on some of the trades that we've taken this week. One of them being NZDCAD position. So as you can see, price formed a double top formation on the weekly time frame on NZDCAD, and plus we saw a lot of bullish momentum in the first 2 weeks of this month on NZDCAD. So that was another reason for us selling, expecting a pullback to the downside. It doesn't mean that we're going to see a strong bearish trend now, but it does mean we are at least going to see a pullback before we do see a continuation to the upside, because as I always say, the market cannot move in a straight line. And also we're at a key resistance level on the weekly time frame. So what are the odds of price breaking that weekly structure this week? Was pretty much slim, and we knew this, so we put on our sell positions. Decent risk to reward, not incredible, but it was a decent risk to reward trade position. The reason why our take profit level isn't lower than the 50% fib is just because we're still not sure if NZD and obviously AUD, USD, AUD pairs will continue their bullish trend to the upside, which is what we've basically seen at the start of the month. So that's just one position. As you can see, we've got 2 entries on that. Price had pulled back on NZ just before, the day before NZD employment change data. So it was a classic pullback, and then of course price retested the resistance level and then continued to the downside. Obviously on the negative data, we added another position. So that's 2 great positions on NZDCAD. Let's get into AUDJPY, another good trade. We've got a similar trade like this on AUD USD as well, incredible trade. But this one was a classic. So we've got a head and shoulders pattern here. I said this in the last video. We've got the break, retest, and then obviously the continuation to the downside. And this pattern you'll see time and time again. You just got to make sure that you don't get caught out basically trying to buy these kind of patterns. Like, it doesn't matter how confident you feel about the trade, if you ever see a head and shoulders pattern pull back, and then as you can see this kind of pattern, is not worth buying against it. But as you can see, again, heading in the right direction. Did have 2 positions on this pair. As you can see, yesterday this second position got taken out at break even. I know, literally by less than 2 pips, taken out at break even, and as you can see, it's moving to the downside. Now we still have our first position in play, so that's completely fine. But of course, in hindsight, maybe it would be best to just move the break-even level just up a tiny bit, because again, it wasn't a huge loss, but in our mind we thought to ourselves, look, there's no point of taking a loss when you don't need to, right? The second position was just a compound to see if the trade would continue to downside. Of course it is, but that break even has been hit on the second entry, but the first entry is doing extremely well, so that's good news. And again, this take profit level that we have in, I'm expecting AUD and NZD pairs to literally tank next week, right? Let's have a look on a daily time frame. Yeah, where I'm expecting this to tank, I would say we could see another I would say maybe a 300 pip move to the downside next week. I'm not going to say that we're going to see price continue all the way down, because again, as I said before, this might not be the reversal. This could just be a pullback, which is why we have our trails in place and a fairly decent take profit position. So just in case we're not at the charts, if it does reach this level, at least it will take us out before it does move to the upside. But I think we're going to clear out these lows pretty easily, to be fair. I can't see price moving to the upside based on this pattern, right? Especially, as I said, whenever you see a head and shoulders pattern like this, head and shoulders, and then you see the retest, and you always have to wait for the pullback as well. That's what you'll find, especially with AUD JPY, you'll find that their pullbacks are quite steep. So imagine if you had sold at this level. I mean, that pullback taking you out, or again, getting caught out in buy positions. Just stay away when it's a head and shoulders formation. And also we have Euro USD. Now this is an incredible entry and an actual incredible trade, to be honest with you. I haven't had any issues with Euro USD last week. It pretty much, as you can see, did go in a straight line. Like even the pullbacks weren't there were nothing to worry about. All the pullbacks were in line with a retrace using a Fibonacci tool. So you could, if we wanted to, we could keep adding positions based on the pullbacks. Again, with EURUSD, we didn't bother. We just left it running, no added positions. And again, with Euro USD, I'm expecting heavy downside momentum. As you can see, we have literally sold right at our key resistance area. Actually, we've sold at a key resistance area, so hopefully this could fall like a really tank to the downside, and we can just hopefully trail this for the rest of the year. But of course, it's important, to not get greedy and get overconfident, because again, price could pull back, and continue to the upside once more. But as you can see, I'm expecting price to continue to the downside. Hopefully, if price can clear out this is the level I'm kind of worried about at the moment. I think if price clears this level, then we can look to start adding positions again and look for price to continue to the downside. But as of now, we won't be adding any positions on this pair. But again, this is an incredible entry from last week, and again, it's stress-free trading. We didn't need to be in and out the market constantly. Pretty simple, put on the trade and just let the trade play out. Incredible risk to reward trades this week. And again, Germany 30, another key pair. I think we're going to see heavy sell-offs on the indice market next week, so stay tuned and keep a close eye on that as well. But there's a lot of good trade setups. I feel like to succeed in current market conditions, you don't have to do much, but just follow the trend, and and don't try to be a wise guy. Don't try be super smart. There's, believe it or not, there's traders trying to buy the Euro USD after a 2-week bullish bull run. I mean, what is the point? You're better off selling, because the risk to reward is going to be in your favor, right, than trying to buy a pair that's overbought. So yeah, are they pullbacks? Who knows? But we will most certainly be trailing our stops. And remember, we are still running a 1-week free trial in our Forex Signal group. You could join us for 1 week free. Just click the link in my bio, but please make sure you have the Telegram app downloaded, otherwise that link will not work. And if you want to join us for next week, if you already had a trial, or you want to join the indice group, send me a message so you can receive that invite link, because we've got a massive 2 months ahead. I feel like the next 2 months are going to be super important in the market and will definitely set the trend going into 2021, or at least leading up to the end of the year. And for indices, guys, remember, it doesn't mean just because we're going to see a sell-off, that's it, we're completely done. All they have to do is announce that they've now discovered or created a new vaccine for corona, and you'll see the market rally just as hard. So please keep that in mind. It's not as simple as sell and that's it, we sail off into the sunset. It's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of patience, preservation of capital, and make sure your psychology is intact so you can take those key trades, right? It only takes one trade to change everything. I'll speak to you all soon.